Welcome to Sitcom Showdown, a podcast that reviews classic sitcom episodes and inducts them into our very own Hall of Fame. As usual, one of us has chosen a sitcom episode and the other guy has no idea what it's going to be. Will they already know it? Will they love it? Can they be convinced that it's worthy? Let's find out on Sitcom Showdown. Hello and welcome back to Sitcom Showdown. I believe it's episode 43. Hooray!
Lucky 43.
Lucky 43. And it's a Christmas episode in late December 2018. My name is Jeffers, and I've got you with me, Steve.
Hello. It's actually Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
We're both on holidays, so feeling quite relaxed.
Yeah, it's a nice sunny day out there.
Yep, not too hot.
No, it's beautiful. Beautiful Australian Christmas. It's your turn, though.
Hey, yes,
So
it's my turn. So I'm bringing an episode of Miranda.
Oh, really?
To the table, yes.
Oh, now this can go either way, because Miranda's either hilariously funny or terribly awful, depending on which episode you get, in my experience.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a good one. It's called The Perfect Christmas. There you go, it's perfect.
It's perfect, alright.
Put it in now. It's episode 2. No, I'm getting this mixed up. It's episode 6 of season 2.
Right.
So I'm nicking the description of Miranda straight off of IMDb.
Good, very efficient, I'll
just put that out there.
Yeah.
Socially inept Miranda always gets into awkward situations, working in her joke shop with her best friend Stevie, being hounded by her pushy mother, and especially when she's around her crush Gary.
Uh-huh.
Just thought that sums it up perfectly. Yep. I don't need to do any more than that. It's from the BBC in the UK, and there were 3 series and a couple of specials as well.
Ooh. I caught an episode and the whole episode was just Miranda and her mother in the psychiatrist's office. It was a really good episode.
I think I've seen that one, yeah.
And the psychiatrist was Mark Heap, who we know from Upstart Crow as the main baddie.
Ah.
Master of the Revels.
Yeah, well, he's in heaps of stuff, that dude.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's true. Because he's good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I shan't interrupt. Let's keep going.
Okay, so Miranda, she's Miranda Hart, that is an accomplished comedian/actress. She's in a show called Call the Midwife, which is more on the dramatic side, but that's well known. Miranda's mother is played by Patricia Hodge.
I know that name.
I think you might know her as Phillida Erskine Brown from Rumpole of the Bailey. She was also in a sitcom with Peter Davison called Holding the Fort.
Okay, never heard of it.
Never heard of that?
No.
Okay. That's an old one. Now, Miranda's dad in this episode he appears in this episode, which is, I thought, a bit strange. But anyway, he's played by Tom Conti.
Yes.
Does that name ring any bells?
It does ring a bell.
Yeah. Well, he was a big movie star back in the day.
Oh, okay.
In movies such as Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence.
Yep.
American Dreamer, Shirley Valentine, Miracles, Saving Grace. I'm waiting for signs of recognition of any of these.
Yeah, no, well, I've recognised 2 of them, obviously. Okay. Yeah.
Good-o. And the last person I wanted to mention, I can't get through everyone here, Jeff.
No.
The last person I wanted to mention is Steve Spears, who guest stars in this episode as Ray the Mailman.
Right.
Steve plays Burbage in Upstart Crow.
Oh, does he really? Excellent. Yeah, he's very funny, that dude.
So Burbage is he's the one that owns the
Globe,
the troupe of actors. Then you're saying that you've watched a bit of this before.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah. So I remember watching it in the very early days, and it's probably the fault of the director, but Miranda would do these looks to camera in the same way that in Bottom, Eddie Hitler would do looks to camera. And lots of people do them, they're great in Filthy Rich and Cat Flap. But for me, it was just awful and I couldn't watch it because it just didn't work. And then I thought perhaps it might have been down to the timing of the shots. And I thought, this is just crap. But then, of course, I caught that other episode where it's just her and Mum in the psychiatrist's office. It was really good. So that's my limited experience of Miranda.
Were there looks in that one?
Oh, I don't know.
Looks to camera.
Yeah. If there were, I wasn't paying attention. So that means the show was doing a good job of distracting me by providing good jokes and funny situations and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we're about to break the wall. The fourth wall.
Oh, blimey.
Several times.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
She turns to the camera and says, Merry Christmas, everybody. This is a Christmas episode, I take it.
Yes.
Oh, well,
it's called The Perfect Christmas, Jeff.
Yes, okay, cool. Well, it could have been set any time.
All right, let's go and watch it then.
All right, let's go.
the parents. Can you take my case?
Yeah, although I've been thinking, I think I might try and get out of it. I mean, wouldn't it be great to have Christmas exactly how we wanted it? No Christmas chart, no sign reading. Please unwrap your presents neatly so I can iron the wrapping paper and save it for next year. No constant weather reports from Dad. No, I will have to try and get out of it. Trouble is, Mum can preempt I'm about to think of an excuse and will just talk straight over me.
We'll be going then. Good, because I can't wait to experience it. Right, she's going to open the shop.
Oh, will you keep an eye out for my parcel? It's all my presents, because I've got to nip to the doctor's, because, well, have you ever had a...
I don't know what you're saying, and I don't wish to know.
Fine, OK.
Well, we're back from watching Miranda, and that was a lot of fun.
I actually laughed out loud on several occasions.
LOL'd. Yes.
Hello.
That's a good sign. So we open with Miranda talking direct to camera, which I think is pretty much standard operating procedure, isn't it, Jeff, for this one? Yeah. Okay. So she's also wearing a hat that makes her look like she's celebrating the return of Sir Walter. Ooh, what a big ship I've got, Riley. It's a reindeer hat with some baubles hanging off it.
Yep. And then as she's explaining things, and then you cut back, the headdress changes every time, and she's like got a Christmas Leia one.
Exactly.
Christmas Leia, Princess Leia.
Christmas Leia. Anyway, she's lamenting to us the forthcoming Christmas festivities, which are going to be held at her parents' over 3 days, Jeff. And to explain this, we've got a flashback to what happened at the parents' place the previous year, where Dad is wearing a tinsel tie, his fun Christmas socks, which feature Father Christmas, and when you press a button on them, it plays a rumba. Well, I'm thinking it's a rumba, it's something like that anyway. And, of course, when that goes off, Mum and Dad form a conga line for two and make a circuit of the lounge room. And Miranda's just shaking her head at this. She suggests that she might have more fun by herself at home.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see a scene of her having fun at home by herself, which involves her in her kitchen blitzing green jelly.
Yep.
And eating bits that go flying out the top of the blender. I don't know if you noticed, but on the table behind her, there's two other whole jellies.
What, ready?
On the table, yeah.
But, yeah. Because the hit and miss ratio. Yeah.
Well,
so out of her 1 kilo of jelly, she might only be able to catch
that's it, to get
100 grams in her mouth.
To get a meal's worth of jelly that's gone out the top of the blender, it's going to take 3 entire jellies. Anyway, we cut back to Miranda, and as Jeff said, she's now wearing 2 Christmas decorations over her ears, which make her look like Princess Leia, or Christmas Leia, if you like.
Yeah.
We learn that she's forgiven Gary for something which I'm not going to go into, because I don't have the time. And important plot point.
Oh.
She's got presents, all her presents have been ordered online, and delivery is due today.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Cue festive titles. Oh. And we're back from the festive titles. She's at home by herself singing Deck the Halls, and she's doing the fa-la-las straight to camera.
Oh.
Yeah.
Blimey.
You either love it or you hate it. Stevie arrives, and Miranda offers to let her open the door on today's advent calendar.
Yeah.
But, of course, Stevie discovers that the chocolate which should be hiding behind the door is long gone, and Miranda admits that they were all eaten on the day of purchase.
Yeah.
And then, craftily, the doors were replaced so no one could tell.
Ah.
She maintains that only a freak wouldn't do it.
Oh. She's got these full-on, she's got zero self-control, so she wants to scoff all the chocolate and scoff all the jelly, but the amount of sheer work that is involved in A, cleaning up jelly, and B, gluing back all the doors of the advent calendar to look like there's no chocky in there, that's hours of work just so she can indulge one of her, but you know what I mean.
Exactly, yeah. Then we get into a conversation about her forsaking Christmas at the parents and doing it at home. Mm-hmm. Seems like the obvious thing to do. And this conversation is punctuated by more fa-la-la-la-las direct to camera. And she admits that it will be difficult because Mum likes to get her way and will talk over the top of her whenever she tries to mount some kind of a protest or to get her own way.
Yeah.
Now Miranda has to leave for a doctor's appointment. So Stevie's going to mind the shop because they share shop duties while she's out. But she does say that she'll keep a lookout for Miranda's delivery.
Mm-hmm.
Before Miranda can leave for her appointment, However, the parents pop in, and Mum confirms that she's chosen something for Miranda and Stevie to wear at the party tonight, and this is a best Christmas jumper party.
That has to be the theme every year, but yep. Okay.
You on board for this?
Yeah.
Okay. And Dad warns them against the perils of black ice on the road.
It'll be a death trap, Steve.
That's an absolute death trap.
Yeah.
Miranda does make her brave attempt to get out of the party.
Several times.
Several times, but as predicted, Mum talks right over the top of her. Now we jump to the doctor's office, and there's a handsome new doctor called Dr. Gale on duty.
Mm-hmm.
And Miranda was obviously expecting a female doctor and goes immediately into awkward mode. It doesn't help that she's there to get a rash on her chest checked out.
No. Is it awkward mode or desperate mode? Both.
Both.
Yeah.
Both modes simultaneously.
It's awkward for us. It's awkward for Dr. Gale.
Yeah.
But it gets more awkward. What was the question?
Good on her for going and getting it checked out.
Yeah, exactly. She's setting a good example.
She is.
Yeah.
Now, as part of the examination, the doctor asks her, have you been eating anything unusual? Have you got any allergies to nuts, perhaps? And she says, well, I haven't been rubbing peanuts on my breasts. That's what you're asking.
Yep.
You'd have to be a complete weirdo to do that, right? And the fact, then she says to herself, why did I even say that? Yeah.
Because by doing it, it makes it sound like I have been doing it.
Exactly.
And it's, yeah.
And on her way out of the consultation, Miranda confirms that the one on the right, which the doctor didn't check, is a right.
The rash.
It's a right Bobby Dazzler.
Yeah. The rash free.
Yeah. She returns.
We'll get into the mechanics of that later on.
We'll come back to that. She returns to the shop, and Stevie has a depot card for her because the people tried to deliver the parcel, but Stevie had to shut the shop up for 10 minutes because it was just so busy.
Yeah.
She couldn't deal with all the customers, so she had to get a few of them out of the door. So that is not good news. And after a run-in with the post office voicemail system, someone on the line confirms that they'll return between 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. tomorrow.
Which, let's just call the nick of time.
The nick of, well...
It will be the nick of time, and if they don't deliver it that day and something goes wrong, which couldn't possibly happen...
No, of course not.
Then there'll be trouble.
Imagine getting every single present
at
6:59 of Christmas Eve.
Crazy.
Okay, so now we've got a scene with Gary in the restaurant, and she's going to make one more attempt to get out of Christmas with Mum and Dad.
Right.
And then we've got another flashback to Mum and Dad's place on a previous year. And they're both on the couch, and Dad's got the 2-week bumper Radio Times edition.
Yes.
Which I posted on our Facebook page and said...
Did ya?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Does anyone know? Oh, it was a clue for this episode, but
I
don't know if anyone responded. Anyway, he hands it to Miranda's mum and says, feel the heft of telly heaven. And she says, which day is it? I never know at Christmas time. Which just sets Miranda off because they do this. This is their routine, which they do every year.
Yeah.
Feel the heft of telly heaven. Which day is it, though? You can never tell at Christmas.
It's on the top of the page.
Yeah,
she screams at them.
Mum and Dad come into the restaurant, so this is her chance. I should mention that Mum is dressed as a reindeer and Dad as a wise man on a donkey. I'll just put a comment in here to say that she's bought, because she's just trying to make Miranda feel guilty, I think. She's saying how she's bought enough food to feed everyone until January the 19th because her father is concerned about fearing about the weather. Now, Jeff, with your prepper tendencies, did this warm you to the cockles of your heart?
It did. And although I would admonish Miranda's mum because she shouldn't have to buy that stuff in, it should just be there as a matter of course all year round.
Should just be tinned.
Yeah, exactly.
Or jarred.
Just in case there's a localised snowstorm over your entire house, you won't have to leave the house for a month. There you go.
Well, this is what she's complaining about, the logistics of this all.
Oh yeah. Sorry, we haven't got to the chart bit yet, but I love the chart. Are we nearly at the chart?
That makes a lot of sense. Can you whip one up before tomorrow?
No.
Oh, okay, I don't think so. Anyway, so she makes another failed attempt to get out of Christmas, and there's another mandatory reference to black ice, and we're now at the Christmas jumper party. We've jumped to the jumper party. So Miranda's been dressed as a Christmas pudding.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. And she's getting, well, in fact, she and Stevie are both eating something delicious, which has been labelled for Christmas Day only.
Yep.
So she gets in trouble for that. And they're obviously pretty hungry because instead she grabs a handful of nuts because, she's looking for a snack.
The timing, 2 handfuls, I'd argue.
Yeah, well, yes, I'd say 2. Yes, you're right.
And then she gets wheeled away against the wheel to meet this hunky dude that her mum's trying to set her up with.
Exactly.
I was thinking at this stage, before the big reveal, how's she even going to shake hands with this person with 2 massive handfuls of peanuts?
She's looking for somewhere to deposit these nuts. But she can't find anywhere, so she shoves them down her top.
Yeah.
And at that moment, turns to discover that the hunk that Mum wants to introduce her to is Dr. Gale.
Dr. Gale.
Oh dear. So she's a bit
oh,
shocked.
the irony.
Yeah, she turns her back to him,
Yeah.
and desperately starts trying to fling these nuts out of her bra.
Oh, man.
Stevie arrives, and they both try flirting with the doctor, which is a bit disastrous.
Oh,
Stevie tries speaking French. She obviously knows only,
Hi, how's it going?
hi, how's it going in French?
My name is Stevie.
And he responds fluently, and she just has a blank look on her face.
And then says, oui.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And Miranda cracks a joke about Doctor Who, and gets into a laughter loop, which she can't exit. So that's pretty bad. But Mum and Dad go to sing a song at the piano, which is Good King Wenceslas.
Wenceslas or something. But we did skip over how we got to the song, because Miranda's mum has made a few Christmas announcements. And then, because to get everyone's attention in the room, she tinkled a couple of the low notes on the piano to get all their attention. And then she sort of gives Miranda's father a look and sort of a tweak of her head, as if to say what I've clearly forced you to say.
This is scripted, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he goes, oh, since you're there at the piano, why don't you give us a song? Oh, no, I couldn't possibly do that. Well, yes, okay. And then we launch into the songs. I thought the lead up to the song was just as good as the song, and the song is very good.
Yes, it was choreographed, that's for sure. Yes, it's the tune of Good King Wenceslas. In fact, it is the lyrics of that, but some of the lyrics have been redone to poke fun at Miranda. I mean, that's pretty much the only subject of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good King Wenceslas looked out
on the feast of Stephen.
There's Miranda laying about
On the feast of Stephen.
stuffing all the food she can.
From the feast of Stephen.
I won't take her for my wife.
Nor will I, said Stephen.
Strike 3. Right, that's it, we're out of
Having had her prospects with the doctor sunk and feeling embarrassed, she gets annoyed and Miranda and Stevie leave.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And they arrive at the restaurant to find out that all the gang have had their Christmas plans cancelled and will be available to go to hers.
Which she's just thrilled about, yeah.
Yeah, they get very excited and sing a song. So on Christmas Day, we're going to have Miranda, Stevie, Tilly, Gary and Clive all around there. And Christmas Eve, Miranda's shop is super busy. And I don't think we've mentioned that it's actually a gift shop, so
Yeah, at the beginning.
that explains the busyness, I think.
You said it was a joke shop. Did you not?
Is it a joke?
Oh, well, I
Joke
don't
slash
know.
gift shshop.
Okay, cool.
Now I'm going to remind you that the parcel's still not delivered. We know that it's going to be delivered somewhere in the 12-hour window that's been 11-hour window.
11-hour window, yep.
Very handy 11-hour window. And Miranda's working herself up into a bit of a state. I think it's fair to say. She's trying to manage the shop and keep an eye out for the delivery person.
Yeah.
Um,
And she's telling Stevie, well, I should be okay. It's not very busy. And Stevie goes, we haven't opened yet.
yeah, so on her way out, Stevie turns the sign on the door
And people come flooding
to
in.
open, and this line of people streams through the door. So she's making a complete meal of gift wrapping, and she does, as an aside, tell us that she's pretty bad at the gift wrapping deal.
Yep, and it's a montage.
It is a
It's
montage.
present after present after present, getting more and more. At the end, you can
Mangled.
barely describe it as wrapping.
That's right. She keeps rushing up to customers, asking them if they're from UPS delivery, including people that she's just served.
Who are turned around to leave the shop.
So the way they've edited it, you see her basically putting some paper around and just sticky tape going everywhere, and then that person walks off, and then you see there's a cut, and you see her rush over to ask this person going out the door if they're from UPS delivery, and you realise it's the person she's just served.
It's very well done, because you thought there was a time jump, but there wasn't a time jump.
The day winds on, and the customers die down a bit, thankfully, and some carolers come past, or come to the door. Miranda makes the decision that she's going to hide from the carolers and force everyone in the shop. What is there, half a dozen customers? Or?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So they've all got to hide from the carolers
and
as
they've
well
got to be dead silent.
for some bizarre reason. They've got to be quiet. She turns the light off, and of course, what happens, Jeff?
Yeah. The UPS, UDS or whatever it's called,
Yeah.
UBD, comes through the little card saying, sorry, we missed you. Comes through the letterbox.
No.
Oh, but you can see
Disaster.
that coming a mile away.
Yep.
But that's okay.
Oh boy. So next we go to this. I think it's a classic scene at the main depot for the postal, and Ray is manning the window.
Yes, he's not a regular character, by the way.
He's not a regular character.
He's just some bloke called Ray.
Just some bloke. And Miranda's told that it can take up to 24 hours for the van that's been to her shop, which is presumably just around the corner,
Yeah.
to get back to the depot.
Oh,
So this is not good news. Not good news.
no.
So she tries to put Ray, who's now holding the power of life and death over her, into a good mood by making a prison joke,
Yeah.
because the front counter of this thing has got plexiglass.
Yeah, presumably bulletproof perspex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with holes in certain places, and
Yeah.
yeah, so she jokes how it looks like a prison. And then as Ray bypasses her to serve someone else, and this guy takes his parcel away, she says, "Oh, hasn't he got a lovely package?"
Yeah.
But nothing's working.
Stone-faced Ray, yeah,
Nothing-
exactly.
Nothing's working. But in his defence, his wife has just left him. So
Yeah, no, it's that whole scene is really, really good. We're not doing it justice here.
it's a hard sell.
Um,
Maybe that'll be the one that we insert into the... It's a bit hard because they're doing this thing where there's like the circular voice window,
yep,
which is for talking, and she tries to put the little
card through the
card
talking.
through the talking thing, and he goes, no. Points to the other window that's to the side.
The official, here's where you hand items through.
So
gap.
she hands it to him, and he has a look, and then he gives it back to her through the thing, and then they've got it's really well choreographed, this whole...
Yeah,
Anyway, she doesn't get her parcel
yep.
before the post office closes, so that's a complete debacle. That night at Miranda's, everyone is there for the sleepover, and they're playing a game of charades before wending their way to the kingdom of Betty Buys, Jeff. That's what Miranda said.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not sure that's a patch on Sleepy Bobos, as
Sleepy
Graham
Bo-
Garden puts it in the goodies.
Yeah, Sleepy Bobos. I still use Sleepy Bobos.
Yeah, there you go.
So things start well the next morning. There's mince pies. There's dancing.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're all
Everyone-
having a smashing time.
They're reveling in the freedom of being at Miranda's house. It's
Yeah.
Mirandamus. Is that what she calls it?
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Mirandamus.
Mirandamus. Like there's none of the overbearing mother with charts and, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Everything's not been scheduled to within an inch of your life.
Exactly.
Mm.
So it's perfect freedom, but perfect freedom leads to 15 minutes later, everyone arguing
Yeah.
precisely because nothing's planned. Everyone wants crackers at a different time, and Stevie wants to go for a walk when Clive wants to watch
do
TV
something.
or something
Yeah.
like that. The turkey's a mess because Miranda neglected to tell Gary that the oven isn't fan-forced, or
Yeah, it is chaos. That's all we need to say.
it's gone completely pear-shaped.
They don't like it
Before we know it, they're all on their way to Miranda's mum's to join
Yeah.
up at her Christmas do,
because at least it's going to be a little bit more organised, if
Yes.
nothing else.
because it has gone so badly.
Yeah.
And we discover that she went on ahead just on the assumption that they were all going to be there anyway. So she's
Oh,
catered
yes.
for everyone because her Christmas is so good.
Yeah.
It was obvious that everyone was going to end up there. And ding dong, someone else arrives. It's Ray the Postie.
Oh. Now,
Wearing-
this isn't explained, though.
No, it's not explained.
No.
It is explained.
Well, why on earth would Ray the Postie show up at Miranda's mum's house?
Okay, so they introduce Ray
Mm.
to the rest of the crew and say that he used to be their postie.
Right.
So they obviously knew him well and must have bumped into him sometime in the last couple of days and
Heard his
heard
tale of
how
woe.
heard how he and his wife aren't together. So rather than have him spend Christmas alone, they've invited him along.
Okay.
Ray hopes he wasn't late, and Miranda's mum said, "No, you said between 3 and 4." When he's working professionally, you can't narrow it down to less than an 11-hour envelope. When he's going to your party,
Yep.
Ray gives you an hour envelope, and he's there on time, which is good. And Miranda, seizing the opportunity, says, "Did you bring your van, Ray? Can I have my presents?" And so everyone gets their presents, and we end back around the piano, with the cast singing us "Wish You a Merry Christmas."
Ah.
And we look on from outside as the snow falls down.
Yeah. There you go. It was a highly... Okay, maybe not highly complex, but it was a complex episode. There was a lot going on.
The notes for this just about killed me. I've been doing a lot of talking. Do you want to say anything before I
Wow.
talk some notes.
All right, so I do like the plotting. I mean, even though I said, look, you could see this thing and that thing coming a mile away.
Like what?
You still
What could you
got to
see?
admire what they've done.
What could you see coming along the way?
Clearly, if she's depending on a package to be delivered on time, there's going to be some sort of thing that stops the package being delivered. You know, that's Sitcom 101. So there's that. But what I did like was how she has to go to the doctor, and then there's that whole awkward Peanuts thing happening at the doctor's, and then her mum sets her up with a hunky dude at the Christmas party just as she's had the Peanuts. So that's one you don't see coming, and it pays off really, really well. I mean, ordinarily, I'd be probably complaining about how hard it is to keep track of all this crap, especially if I've not watched it before, but they balanced all the spinning plates pretty well.
Yeah, I was surprised when I broke it down how tightly plotted it actually is, but I'll talk a bit more about that shortly. Anything else?
Do you want me to launch into some complaints?
Yeah,
I can do that. All right, so I've
Throw some complaints
I've
at
written
me.
down looks to camera, way too many. Now, I love a good look to camera, right? So in The Young Ones and Filthy Rich and Cat Flap and other shows, you know, there's maybe 4 or 5 if you're lucky. And, you know, but there's absolutely tons of it in this. And as I said earlier, it's like half the time it's absolutely perfect. And you go, yes, that's really added to the show. And then the other half of the time you just think, oh, get on with it. What are you doing? And in the second half, there was quite a long period without many looks to camera. And you really get into it. So all I'd say is, Miranda,
it was taking you out of it, was it?
Yeah, cut down on the looks to camera.
Okay.
Right, what else have we got? So what have you got?
Well, we're ticking all sorts of Christmas boxes
Oh, okay, yeah.
as we move through the episode, including the mandatory Ding Dong Merrily on High joke. Now, is this one better or worse, Jeff, than the one in Vicar of Dibley? Because I didn't mention it as I was going through the episode, but she, in response to the carolers, sings the song and asks them if they've seen a delivery man, and then they respond to her in song by saying yes, they have. But of course, they're going through the la 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 la.
Well,
And by the time they do that, by the time they have this
he's driven
interaction
off.
in the song, he's long gone.
Yeah, exactly. No, nothing can ever be as good as the Vicar of Dibley one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can't top the children under
You
Alice's
can't, yeah, exactly.
tutelage.
And then just going down and down and down through the register. It's pure genius.
And everyone's looking at each other,
Oh.
scratching their heads. Now, I've got a theory that we're paying homage to some great Jane Austen / Bridget Jones's Diary things.
Okay.
I've got 3 examples I want to bring out. Okay.
It'll go straight over my head. But
You could just nod and agree.
Yeah, no, I will.
So Mum is trying to... This is the first example. Mum is trying to marry Miranda off, right? So she's introducing Miranda. This is just one example. Mm-hmm. She introduces Miranda to the doctor at the party. But then she completely sabotages herself by bagging Miranda out
And singing the song.
at the piano, making fun of how she's overeating and all this sort of stuff. Which is similar to what happens in Pride and Prejudice.
Oh.
Mrs. Bennet's made it her life's mission to marry off her daughters, but for a time her behaviour, and I've put in brackets she's a complete moron,
Oh.
no self-awareness, is an obstacle to Mr. Darcy pursuing Elizabeth.
Yep.
So that's, yes, they've taken that idea and running with it.
Yeah.
And, of course, the Christmas jumper party takes the scene in Bridget Jones's Diary where Bridget attends her mother's upper middle class party.
Mm. Okay.
Anyway, there's this classic scene in Bridget Jones's Diary where Bridget's introduced to Mark Darcy, who turns around and he's wearing this hideous Christmas jumper. So they've basically taken that jumper thing and
Run with it.
ramped it up to 10.
Oh, good.
Before I leave that subject, Sally Phillips actually plays Miranda's friend Tilly, and she's been in Bridget Jones's Diary. So that's a bit confusing. Okay, then lastly, my third example is Miranda's father's obsession with black ice.
Right.
And his need
I'm nodding blankly here.
his need to tell everyone about the potential dangers of black ice.
Right.
Everyone that he meets. So Mr. Woodhouse, Emma's father, is hilariously obsessed with risks to people's health, including his own. And it's a frequent subject of conversation with him. So there's a scene at Miss Taylor's wedding where Mr. Woodhouse he's saying, "Cake? Surely you're not serving cake at your wedding, Miss Taylor. Far too rich. You put us all at peril.
Oh.
Where is Mr. Perry the apothecary? I'm sure he will support me."
Oh.
And he does lots of things like that.
There's shades of John Shuttleworth in there. Blimey.
Yes, what were you thinking, Ken?
You can't have a
With your
Malibu
cake.
at this time in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm into my gags section, Jeff. Do you want to read some off and we'll...
Yeah, all right. Well, I'll start with the minor ones. So I don't know what the name of Sally Phillips's character is. Obviously a peripheral character. But she adds "yolent" to the end of everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's spiffulent, which I thought was fantastic. And there was another one as well. I thought, I imagine how many episodes you could watch with her in it and come away with a whole new vocabulary. A whole new...
You started already.
Yeah, exactly. A whole new vocabulary of fantastic phrases. So, yeah, that was good value. I like that. I'm not sure if Miranda's at home in real life writing this sitcom and going, how can I crowbar spiffulent into it somehow? But I'm glad she did, so that's pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So another one was that whole where Miranda's talking to the automated delivery place menu.
The voicemail thing.
Yes. When would you like your package delivered? And then she's trying to tell it that she wants it delivered on Tuesday. And the machine goes, did you say Monday? And all that sort of stuff. That's just fantastic. And then because obviously the accent that the program's trying to recognise is a good old U-Butte common accent.
Yep.
And she's going too posh with it.
She's going, Tuesday.
And then she finally, relents and goes, Tuesday.
It's Tuesday, isn't it?
It's Tuesday, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. And it worked a treat. And
Yep.
that was brilliant. It took a long time to get there.
Yep.
But I think the payoff made it worth it. That was pretty good. I liked that. Over to you.
Okay. So in the scene at the doctor's, the doctor turns around and she says, wowzers. And then he says, how can I help? And she says, are you married? Shh. Tells herself to shush. And then she realises that he says that Dr. Gale is his surname. I'm Dr. Gale. And she says to herself, Miranda Gale. She says it out loud, Miranda Gale. Just to see how it sounds, as if you're
going to get married.
As if they're going to get married.
Oh.
Then she says, as if to cover up what she's just done.
It's all a bit sad and
What
desperate.
she's just said out loud.
Oh.
Feel the heft of telly heaven. I could just listen to Tom Conti saying, feel the heft of telly heaven over and over on a loop. He steals every scene that he's in, I reckon.
Yeah, and they spare him quite wisely, so he doesn't get much, but he gets good stuff.
Yep. We talked about the scene with Ray at the post office window. I'm not going to go back into that. Her admission in the midst of everything going wrong at her place that Christmas at her mum's is really good.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
And she's the first one to break.
Yeah.
And says, right, let's leave the others and just hoof it to mum's.
Oh. And then there's that whole whispering thing. Shh, don't tell the others.
Yeah.
Go on to mum's.
Yeah, they're in the hall. And one by one the others come in until at last there's no one left to come in, but they're still whispering and saying, don't tell the others.
Yeah. You can tell by the look on my face I'm putting that one down as an example of one that doesn't work.
Okay.
Nah.
And then my last one is Ray coming into Mum's Christmas party, which I thought was the cherry on top of the cake.
Yeah.
All right, well, I've only got my summary now.
Have you?
My summary that's going to convince you, Jeff.
Oh, well, look, okay. Look, don't stress, dude. So just going back to when she's at the doctor's about the appointment, about the rash on her chest, and then he goes, well, what's going on? And she goes, well, it's not really a problem. It's more of a feature. Because she's trying to make a good impression.
She's talking it up.
That line was pure genius, I thought. And then I don't know if we got back to the right Bobby Dazzler.
No, we didn't.
Gag. So obviously she's got a rash on her left boob, and then she's trying to make light of that and say she's more or less saying I should point out that the other one is completely rash free.
Yep.
And she goes, it's a right Bobby Dazzler, which cracked me up once I realised it was working on several different levels, because she's talking about her right one.
Yep.
And it's a Bobby Dazzler.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's genius. Oh, wow. So I just thought I should explain that one.
Yes,
and I thought it was very, very good.
That one completely slipped past me.
She's doing the jelly in the blender, and then just the brilliant shot the director's chosen with her trying to angle her mouth with her gob open so that this jelly would fly in there, which I thought was very funny. Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
It's interesting because some of the things that I found mildly funny or slightly funny, you found more funny.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Oh, totally. And lucky last is the icing scoop. So there's starving. Stevie and Miranda at Mum's place. They don't want to be there. They're going to bury their misery in food, and so they've been told not to touch anything with a certain label because it's for the next day. So Miranda says, quick, lift off the top layer of this cake. So they lift up the top layer. And then Stevie gets in there and just takes just scoops all the icing off the lower level. And she's got that in her two hands and just shoving her face into it and doing that. It's just, it's brilliant.
There's a whole gag category which involves
handfuls of
sneakily
food.
eating food.
Yeah,
Here's my summary, my grand conclusion.
right.
So, Miranda is a sitcom that's generally loads of fun and joyful. Miranda's awkwardness and her physicality is always spot on, I think. The cast always appear to be having a great time, and I think that tips over into the show, making it loads of fun. And this episode's no exception. I think they balance the situation of this episode with the fun factor well. The mother and son episode we talked about last time, like that was brilliant. No arguments there.
For very different reasons.
But we explore kind of family dynamics in a way that becomes a bit uncomfortable at times. So this episode does a bit of that kind of stuff, but never takes it to the point where it never gets uncomfortable. So it just maintains that general lightheartedness without getting too serious. And then the two main storylines of the presents and wanting to break away from Christmas at Mum's, but being crap at it. And by being crap at it, I mean organising her own Christmas, is tied together brilliantly when Mum's party, which he's been avoiding going to, solves Miranda's present dilemma in the form of Ray.
It absolutely does.
Yeah, so they brought the two things together. I didn't even realise until the last couple of times I watched it, but yeah.
How many times have you watched it? About 5?
7 or 8 times.
Yeah.
So yes, like it's so tight on a storyline basis, but also you don't notice that because there's all this like tinsel on the top of it and silliness going on.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it.
But,
yeah. You're distracted by the frivolity and you don't realise what's going on.
Yep, there's a whole lot of stuff going on under the hood that you don't notice, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's all really good, so that's why I think it's a good example.
And deserving it a shot in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, I'm putting it out there.
Well, I don't disagree with anything you've said. It's good plotting, there's good distractions and stuff. So then all it comes down to, basically, is this a show that appeals to the watcher? And that's for every watcher to decide. So as before, where I stand on Miranda is either you're going to get a really good episode or you're going to get a really terrible one. There's a lot of masterful stuff going on, and I really appreciate all of that. And if all I've got in response is to say, oh, well, I don't like it when people sing, and Miranda turned to the camera too many times, it's not enough of a case to counteract all the really good stuff that's going on. So I'd put it into the Hall of Fame, because you can just see, even though some parts of it aren't my personal preference, that other people would just go, yes, this is the best Christmas special I've seen in a while. And also, and I think I've said this recently on other episodes, actually it was Halloween. The amount of Halloween crap I had to wade through to get to Cheers and the other stuff. I have waded through a lot of Christmas crap to pick out Mother and Son, and this is better than all the Christmas crap I waded through.
Wow.
So...
Thank you.
Yeah, you're shocked. Again.
I'm floored.
Ah.
We shall wrap this up and see everyone in the new year.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Yep. See everyone.
Cheers. Join us next time on Sitcom Showdown when we'll be putting another 5-star episode under the microscope. And in the meantime, you can contact us with feedback on Facebook, Twitter @Sitcom Showdown, or by email sitcomshowdown@gmail.com.